Hi everyone. We are
LaChiMoLaLa.
LaChiMoLaLa. And we're here to discuss from BTS episode 153. This is
Yes.
the continuation of 152. It is throwback songs, it is karaoke, it is getting hit on the head with trays. So I'm all in.
Heck yeah. Oh man, not that I want to see the boys hurt or anything like that, but I mean, it's an aluminum tray.
Yeah, it's more like slapstick comedy. It's not like real pain.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh man. So contrary to the last episode where I was like, oh boy, Beth, I related to them, like I know most of these anime songs that they were talking about. Oh, I know that song that they were singing. Oh quite the opposite this time.
Really?
Yeah, so quite the opposite. So the songs that they were karaokeing was in my it was the dormant time, the K-pop dormant time where college took over my life. And I just listened to classical music. I was a very boring person. But that being said, I am familiar with a lot of the first generation K-pop, and a lot of these songs were not first gen. So they ranged from like 2012, 2003, 2017, so a few songs that I had no idea. Actually, not a few. I didn't even know any of them except for one. And we all know which song that was.
Yeah, I knew none except for that one.
And we should sing it. 3, 2, 1. Oh my God, I'm style. Hey, sexy lady. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, anyways, yeah, I need to get that out of my system.
Yeah, good. Well, watching them too, you really felt how like there is a big culture difference when you grow up somewhere. Like they all pretty much recognize these songs, even though some of them were made like way before, like when they were little babies or before JK was born. But it is interesting, like you just have those like cultural touchstones. Like I'm sure we have the same ones here that they wouldn't know, like I don't know, Bruce Springsteen songs. Hopefully they don't know those. We're forced to know them, but you shouldn't be. So I just thought that was really interesting because I loved seeing their reactions to them, and I loved RM, of course, RM, because it's RM. J-Hope kept being like, I don't know this song based on just the title, and RM was always like, you know this, and then the chorus would start, and Hope would be like, oh, I know this. And he's like, you know it, you know it, you just don't know what it's called.
Exactly. And you saw him like start to sing,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
I loved how they were all singing together. So cute. Like a lot of the time.
Yeah. Even like some songs that like was way before JK's time, like he was singing it,
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty cool. Like I would have to say though, Suga was the superstar for me. He was the superstar for me in this episode. Okay, he and I relate so much when it comes to karaoke. Okay, like I would have to say I would sing that way as well. I would never sound like JK at all, or V, because V sang
V
so
sounded amazing. He sounded so good. I was like, are these your songs? Wow. Like, yeah. I guess he just picked the ones that were in his range, and Suga had no options, but he sounded so good. It sounded like he'd rehearsed like 100%.
Yeah. And like they said, it was like a little V mini concert,
Yeah.
It was so cute back to back that he was singing. But I love how Jin like egged on Suga for that Lee Hyori song called 10 Minutes. And here's a fun fact, because she is considered as a first gen K-pop. She was in a K-pop band that I actually really loved. It's called my brothers and I would call them Finkel, but it's spelled Fin.K.L. So I don't even know if it's supposed to be.
Oh, is that like Is that like that band I call Geidel, but I'm pretty sure isn't pronounced like that? Like GI-DLE and like the L's capitalized or something. I'm sure Geidel sounds terrible. That must not be how you say it. But I haven't checked my pronunciation in YouTube. Sorry guys. Comments. Write it phonetically.
Yeah, seriously, let me know. But yeah, so this she used to be part of this band that pretty much launched K-pop into where it is today. I consider that one of the like everyone knows that group, I feel like, you know, like if you listen to obviously K-pop back in the day, like SES, Finkel, Baby Vox, those were the really popular girl bands back in the day. And so she was part of that band, and even though that band didn't officially said that they were disbanded, obviously they're disbanded now, you know. But they all parted ways when they went through their solo careers, and the song that Suga sang is part of her solo career. So
that was the first song, right?
That was the first song. Yeah, it's called 10 Minutes that had Britney. If you ever watched her music video for 10 Minutes, it gives you the 2000s vibe or the Britney Spears. It's very Britney Spears. So like,
okay, now I want to watch it.
Yeah, you know, and it's actually on our channel if you want to see the comparison between Suga versus Lee Hyori's 10 Minutes, you know, so have a short for that. Yeah, but it's a really fun watch because she's really cute in that song, and then you transition to Suga and he's like rapping the verse. I'm like, this is a very interesting interpretation of her song, you know. But I loved every single second the moment Suga picked up that mic and started karaokeing his heart out, and he would do like cute little movements too with it. I'm like, oh, stop it. And then Jimin being his backup dancer, going like in one circle and looking all cute too. I was like, oh man.
Suga does do karaoke the way I like to do it, where it's funner. Like, funner's not a word. Don't school me. I know that. I don't.
Again, rubbing off from you. I'm rubbing off. Sorry, no.
But I love it too. I love to like interject stuff. Like I usually throw cussing in when there's no cussing. Like to me, it's more about like getting the audience excited. Like. And that's how Sugar did it. He was more like a hype man for the song than like that concerned with if he was singing the song right. And the amount of feeling he put into it. Like he was really feeling it even when he knew he was being terrible. And to me, that's everything. Karaoke should be about feeling it. That's why I would give RM a 10. Yes. A 10. Mm-hmm. Yes, he was amazing.
He was super passionate. Can I tell you, he was like, it started off like, oh man, he sounds so great, and all of a sudden towards the end, I'm like
well, it definitely went up a couple octaves. I was like, whoa, and he knew I was gonna go there because he knew that song. He knew. Yeah. It explains why I feel like in the beginning Jin was like, oh, RM's gonna sing this, and I was like, why wouldn't he sounds so good. And then by the end I was like, oh, this is what Jin was talking about.
Okay. So I looked up the music video for that song, and it is very depressing. Like,
is it?
Really depressing. Yeah, it's like basically how I've seen it. Someone could correct me, please, you know, but like a father saving. Okay, it's very sci-fi, very Armageddon. Okay, Armageddon.
Specifically that movie?
Yes. Yes. Because asteroids or meteorites were like flying down, and the father was protecting the daughter, and he definitely died, you know, and then the daughter, yeah.
But you can still watch the music video.
Yeah, yeah. Whoops. Sure. Anyways, yeah, and so the daughter gets reminded of like the father, you know, so it's a really tragic video, obviously from the tone, because it's a ballad too. So I didn't look up the translations because I was like, I'm already like sucked into this music video. I'm like,
Maybe
But
that
yeah,
explains why RM was putting such heart and soul into it. Like he
yeah,
remembers, how some videos really stick with you. They're like these like iconic little pieces of time that you just can't forget. Maybe that's why, because he was so into it. I loved how everyone was like laughing a little bit because he couldn't like hit all the notes, but also like really appreciating how he committed he was.
yeah, yeah.
I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, that is beyond like commitment. Like, I don't know what you call that word, that's beyond commitment. Yeah, he was like, whoa. And I love that Suga said, like, is he crying?
And then right after that, we got Suga doing a girl song, but like you said, with the rap, which was so fun. I just loved, and everyone there seemed like really impressed. Like they obviously knew what the song sounded like. And they were like, whoa, like just what you did. Like this is an interesting interpretation, but I'm kind of loving it.
Yeah. And the lyrics too, like something about like red lipstick and putting on my
I know he was
makeup.
like, I'm gonna put on my lipstick, I'm gonna change my outfit, I'm gonna go out there and like show you up or something like that. I was just like,
Yeah.
whoa,
And
this
it
feels
made it
like
more fun.
like a getting back at your ex song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yes. Yeah. It made it more interesting since it in theory is coming from a woman and he's saying that.
Yeah. And he was
So
doing, when Sugar's really happy and he does that little face where he's got like a smile and his eyes are all squinty and he's just like, hey, like he's like got I call it mischievous face. Like
yes.
it's just pure unadulterated mischief and it's so adorable. I'm in love with it.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, girl. He was a superstar for
He
me,
was a superstar.
Oh yeah, like his performance was my favorite, even though I really love V's too, but like
Oh,
I truly relate to Suga like so much.
Sugar was like, karaoke realness. D was like what you think you sound like when you sing
Yes.
karaoke. And like when
Hmm.
you get off, you're like, what, that was amazing, right? I should be a professional singer. And everyone's like, yeah, okay. I think if
Okay.
you're around for beers.
Yeah. Okay. And can we talk about Jimin?
Oh, are
Okay.
we going to talk about his epic fail?
Oh my gosh. Yes, that was so funny. Okay, so Jin, I loved how like when they found out the song, Jin was like smooth like butter, and he was like so like excited about it. And then like all the guys were like excited about it. And Jimin's like, yeah, like are really singing the song. So he starts to sing it. And then he gets a score of like what, 80 something, like 86 or something like
Yeah.
that.
Honestly, though, he didn't seem that into it. I felt like the other guys made him sing it, and he like wasn't that into it. Like, I'm not saying he did a bad job. He didn't. He's your man. Hello. But I was like, the other guys put a lot more feeling into it. I think because they were singing something random, and he was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's like work. It's regular work.
Yeah, because he sang his part, right, that they showed.
Yeah.
He's
That's
like,
why he
this is
like
my
wasn't looking at
part.
the monitor. He was like,
But he's like, oh man, like sad because he scored in the 80s, which means deduction, so yeah.
It was so funny how they called it though. They were like, if we pick 7, that's going to be BTS, and then they were like, oh, it is. There you go.
Yeah.
And I know we keep saying V sounded amazing, but I didn't recognize either of his songs. I didn't recognize any songs, so I don't know why I'm surprised. But it was interesting that both of them were like 100% in his range. Like, I mean, I assume they were. I mean, he sounded great. If he had lowered them or made them higher, I don't know. I couldn't tell. But it was funny. He sang his also with a lot of like feeling like RM.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone just kind of sang along, like, you know what I mean? But they weren't as involved. I feel like with some people, like with Suga or with J-Hope, like the younger lines were like singing back up or doing, chorus stuff, or the rap line kept being like, let's go, like for different things.
Yeah.
But with V, they were just like, just let him sing. He's pretty. He sounds
Yeah.
pretty. We'll just let him sing. Because they love him so much, they let V do whatever he wants. Another prime example. Like no one else sang back to back.
True. Very true.
You get the pass.
Mm-hmm. And going to J-Hope was okay. Gangnam Style by Psy is the perfect song for him.
It
Like,
really is.
I would be really upset. I mean, no, I wouldn't be upset if someone else sang it, but I mean, I would like to see their interpretation of it.
I would have liked to see Jin sing it. I'm not sure how it would have been. Not that he's bad, but just like it's a completely different style than I think of Jin.
Yeah. Oh man, but he was the ultimate, because like most of the songs, I think there were 9 songs that we got to see them karaoke to, and honestly, majority of them were ballads, you know.
Yeah.
And so 10 minutes and Gangnam Style were like more of the happier ones, right? Or more of the upbeat ones. And so I wouldn't say happier for 10 minutes, but anyways, but it was more upbeat. So seeing J-Hope going on nuts, like he was already in a dancing mood, okay? Like he was already dancing up a storm, and then all the guys are like, J-Hope, this is your song, you know? Like, and J-Hope's like, oh, follow me a song I know, you know, like by the title, you know? So he got up, and I just loved his energy. It was perfection. So perfection. Like, oh man,
and
so
you know,
good.
like that song was popular when they were trainees, so 100% guaranteed they probably all sung it. They probably sang it together, probably, you know, worked on it once. Like, so yeah, it was really fun to see him get so like hyped up about it and so excited. I mean, he's easily excitable, we all know that. But he was really going for it, and I loved it. Yeah, I was glad he got a song that he really knew back to front.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who are great at karaoke, but they get very nervous if they don't know all the words. You know what I mean? If you just know the chorus, trust me, I've been there. Sometimes you get up there and you're like, well, there's a verse to this song? How's it go?
Exactly.
I would have been like, I'm usually like JK, where I'm like, oh, I know the song, and then I get up there and I go, oh, how's it start? Anyone remember? Like, if you tell me the first line, I'll get it, but I'm drawing a blank.
Jog my memory, please.
Yeah, jog my memory. How's this go? But J-Hope just nailed it. He was so good. I loved it.
Oh, so awesome. Yeah, it was so good. Like, him like going from one end to the other. It looked like he was performing, you know, for us. Yeah, a total full concert.
I know that you've done the research, because you always do the research. What did Jin sing?
So
wow, I just said Jin sing. Sorry.
Wildflower. It's a it's a ballad. And so that I couldn't find a music video for. Like, if someone found it, please send it to me. I want to watch it. But I saw a performance, and the performance is really good. By Park Yo Shin, or yeah, I can't read my own writing. So sad. But yeah, but you'll see it when you rewind it on Run BTS if you really want to know. But yeah, he's saying Wildflower.
And it seemed like it was a song he knew, right? Like everybody was like, oh, Jin sings this song. This is Jin, like a karaoke staple, right? But then he didn't do well, right? I feel like the better you know the song, the worse your score was.
Yeah. Except for J-Hope. J-Hope did super well. Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, but Jin like hit, like RM even said it, right? He's like, your pitch is really low. Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Too low.
But he was super into it. He was, you know, loving it, getting down.
He was feeling it. And I forgot who was it, JK that said like, oh yeah, you know, he normally karaoke's to this song, you know.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. So we like knew it was a staple of his.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, so sad. He was like the first one, right, that got like 80, like in the 80s. So he got like 89.
So.
But he was it was like on a cusp though. Like he was just a -1, just 1 point, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't like Suga. Poor Suga. I feel like he lost like 10 points every round. Like, but he was having the most fun, so I didn't understand. And especially for the second song, he ran up there. He was like, oh yeah, he totally wanted to do it. He was super into it. They, you know, they just don't give any points for, you know, originality.
Yeah, and that song that he sang, the second song that he sang is, I think, 1991. I can't pronounce his name. Kim Hyun Sik, I think. I'm so sorry. I'm terrible at Korean. Like, I don't, apologize in advance. But apparently that singer passed away Like
Oh,
he
really?
had a disease. Yeah. So, but people cover that song a lot. It's called "My Love by My Side." So,
Well, Suga only let like two notes play before he jumped up. Like he knew it. He was like, "Oh yeah!" And I feel like
yeah,
somebody else, maybe Jin or somebody else, was also like, "Oh, I like this song," and it was like, "Nope, make way, here's
yeah,
Suga singing
yep, yep,
this."
yeah. He really loved that song.
Yeah,
But speaking of Jin though, okay, so Jin and JK for their practice round, how awesome was that?
yeah,
Okay, they memorized the lyrics. I believe it was called Loner by Outsider or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And they both killed it. Like Jin, wow. Like A+ for you, homie. You know, and you too, JK, with your rapping. He's so good at everything. He's so
Yeah.
good at rapping. And I love like the whole rap, like everyone, not just the rap line, but everyone was like, whoa, this is like pretty awesome. But especially like the rap line too, though, they were just like, wow, you know?
I feel like Jin was hitting back at all those memes of him after Sowuzu, where his popping memes, popping, popping, popping,
Poppin',
popping,
poppin',
chicken noodle
poppin'.
soup. He was like, I can rap, guys. I mean, he still a little bit sounds like your dad rapping, but I mean, it's way better than I could do.
I know. Seriously, me too. Y'all don't want to hear me rap. Like, I love Snoop Dogg. No one wants to hear a cover of Snoop Dogg from me.
No, I stay away from those at karaoke.
No, but I do sing those in karaoke though because it's fun.
No, that's true. Because it doesn't
But
matter. If you're terrible, who
yeah,
cares?
I'm terrible, but that's what makes it fun.
But you're right. They were really quick. Like, and you're right. I think they had it all memorized. Like, it was nuts. I feel like J-Hope particularly was just like, what? Oh, guys, are you hearing this? It was like, yes, JK can rap. What can he do?
Yeah. So, speaking of Jin again, let's rewind a little bit now that we're talking about lyrics and him memorizing, because I think we touched on all the guys, right? On the karaoke portion of them singing individually. So, in the beginning of 153, they cut us off, you know, because they were able to sing all together for the first song, the Young Turks Club song, Affection, but then they had to sing the black rubber shoes. Wait, is it black?
Yes, black rubber shoes. You're confused because it sounds crazy. Like, why? Like, I kept thinking, is this like a knockoff of blue suede shoes? But it's not. Has nothing
Yeah.
to do with Elvis. Nothing.
Yeah, so that part when Jin, oh my gosh, all right. Jin was hilarious. Everyone, poor V. Okay, poor V first, but let's talk about Jin real fast. Let's talk about Jin real fast. Okay, so Jin, he totally like thought that it wouldn't get to him at all. You know, like they wouldn't even finish. And then when it got to him, like he totally screwed it up. But the funny part was like I wouldn't say it's that. Well, I mean, his anxiety like completely like kicked in. Like you saw his face like, oh no, it's getting to me, you know, like it's my part, you know, like I don't know it, you know. And then like the first mess up, he just kept going like, whoa. And I'm like, okay, what's after that, you know? And then nope. And then the funny part was like he kept messing up, and Jimin was like, why aren't you getting your part right? And he said, I am bad at memorizing lyrics. And I was like, hold up, you know, because then like when he said, I was like, wait a minute, you know, because then like you fast forward, then you see him like completely rap so well in that Outsider song. I'm like, lies.
Mm-mm.
You just don't like that Black Rubber Shoe song.
I loved how he and Sugar were like sitting, like the two old men in the corner. Like everyone else was like super hyped up, and like J-Hope was dancing nonstop, and like V was doing air guitar, and Jimin was going crazy, and they were just sitting on the end, like, I don't know my part. Do you know your part? I don't know my part.
Okay, but Suga was like really, really hilarious when it came to his part though, because he kept screaming. Oh, I forgot the exact words. What was the exact words? Like he was trying to throw Jin off. Uh,
Real something or instead of sweet. I don't remember, but it was definitely the wrong lyrics, right? He was trying to
yeah.
mess with him.
Oh, surreal. Something about surreal. Was it surreal or something like that? I don't remember either. But he kept trying to throw Jin off because poor Jin was like trying to memorize the lyrics, like And then at one point Jin was like, "Can you please be quiet?" And he's like shouting in his ear, and it got so annoying to the point where like RM was like, "Can I just please hit him?" Oh man, I bet he regrets saying that, huh?
Yeah, he does. Yes, he does. But you're right. It was so funny to see them just like be so stressed out. And Suga was the one who told him, he's like, they're never going to get to you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Because like V couldn't get it right over and over and over again. So he was like, don't worry about it. They're never going to get down here. And so Jin like believed that false sense of hope. Oh, V got hit a lot this
Oh,
episode.
at some point you looked at him and he's like, like what?
He looked like defeated a little bit. And he like even took his hat off and I was like, no, keep that on. You need more padding.
I know, seriously. I was like, no.
What are you doing?
Oh, yeah, I felt so bad for him. I was like,
especially because J-Hope knew his right away. He obviously knew that song and he like was so pumped up about it. And he was like so disappointed in V. He was like, come on.
Yeah.
Get your shit together.
It was hilarious. And it was funny that JK missed that one time too. It was just a simple word, and then
he only had 3 words. Yeah. 3 words.
Yeah, just 3. And then Arm's like, what? What the heck?
He's like, are you for real right
now? Yeah. And but he had like the greatest time that he's like, I'm sorry. But speaking of sorry, he was really adorable though when he gave Jin really horrible advice of not he told Jin like, don't say the O part, okay? Like don't say it. You don't have to.
Don't worry about it. You don't need it.
Yeah. And then Jin totally called him out. He's like, but JK told me 3 minutes ago, not to say the O. And then JK's like, and he spoke in English. It was the cutest thing ever. He's like, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry. And then he spoke in Korean. It's like, I bow down, Yeah, that was really adorable.
Oh, they were so cute. And it was funny because they seem to be having much more fun with this song. Like the Young Turk Club song, it felt like they were kind of like loathing it, like just trying to get through. Yeah. But this song, I don't know if it was because it was more upbeat. Well, it wasn't. The other one was upbeat too. But like they just seemed like super excited about it. Like particularly J-Hope and Jimin, who just danced like the whole time. Like everybody was just like super into it. I mean, except for Jin, because Jin didn't know his words. But everybody else was like super, super into it. And I just thought it was so cute. I love when they have to like work together, like any sort of relay or team challenge is always just so much fun with them.
Yeah, again, Suga, superstar. Like he ended it on a high note. He was so funny. Even though he was the last one, you would think it would be like the hardest part, but it wasn't for him. He was like screaming his lyrics out because he was just so excited about it, Yeah. And I thought Jimin had the longest like lyrics too. Like I felt like he kept going on, but he knew the song really well. So like to your point, like they were just dancing throughout the whole entire time, so
yeah, he was not stressed about it at all. Whereas the other song, he was like really having to think hard. Yeah, he needed like multiple hints. Oh, what about that when he had to pick a hint and he like didn't want to pick it? He wanted JK to pick it. He's like, you guys, I have terrible luck. Yeah, I think JK should pick it. And Jin was like, we trust you. I trust you, Jimin. You go. You pick it. Yeah. And then he got like the perfect, it was like play the whole song over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was so nervous. He was like, I don't think I should be doing this.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. I'm like, oh, Jimin. And then JK was like ready to go pick it too, Yeah,
he's like, of course I should pick it. Of course I should pick it. I mean, it's me. I'll pick it.
Yeah. I'll pick you guys a good one because I'm JK. I'm giving out everything.
And didn't Jimin also like he said, how should I pick? And wasn't Jin like Bohore, like I purple you? So he was like, he did like the syllables and then picked one
Yeah.
out.
Mm-hmm.
It was so cute.
It was so
Super
cute.
cute.
I loved it. It was so good. Man, this episode was like really fun, you know, like
Okay, and then when you see at the end the points compiled and everyone is in the pluses and Suga's down 8, -8, right? Everyone else at least has 1. He's way down. Way down. He shouldn't have sung twice. It really burned. But thank you for singing twice. We really loved it.
Yeah, it was great. Oh my gosh. I was so happy that he sang that Lee Hyori song. That was so good.
And then I loved how JK was like, I've got an idea. Whoever he picks should also get a tray to the head. It's like, why? Yes.
I know. I was like, that's just
it was so funny. And then when Sugar like wanted them to volunteer and like nobody would look at him.
yeah.
It was like teacher is like, does anyone know this? And you're like
yeah. And I love Jin saying like, you know, I sat next to him. We had great conversations. I just can't look at him right now.
I loved how RM got on his knees and sincerely apologized for wanting to hit him with a paddle to no avail.
It's like, I'm taking back all the stuff that I said.
Both and V and Jimin were just very honest. They're like, you know, I'm really scared of heights. Please don't pick me. Like,
yeah.
And he was like, okay, I respect that.
Yep. And J-Hope, yeah, I loved how they didn't exclude the first place person. It was the second person that they excluded. I'm like, that is totally different. Okay.
Who was first place? I don't even know.
I don't even know
pay attention because it wasn't that important.
Yeah, I just know that J-Hope was like excluded. He was second place. Yeah.
Which is awesome because J-Hope also, I think, doesn't like heights. Right? He's a little bit of a scaredy cat.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think Sugar is a scaredy cat, and he did so good. He killed it up there.
Yeah. So it was, oh man. But that poor RM though, that tray hitting his head. He's like, I knew it. I knew it.
I mean, he kind of deserved it. I was like, if Sugar loses, he's in trouble, and he was.
Mm-hmm. But it was really nice though. They totally bonded though, for sure. So.
Oh, I love how they showed the punishment right away. Sometimes they wait till the next episode, you know, so it was really nice to get to see it right away. And honestly, I mean, I have no problem with heights, but it looked damn high. But it also looked really cool. Like, I mean, I would be interested to do it. I'm not sure I'd want to sit down and have my legs dangling. That seemed a little intense.
I think they're truly not afraid of heights if they're sitting down and dangling their legs.
I kept waiting for one of them to lose a shoe.
Yeah.
That could kill someone at that height.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it was very interesting because there were... Okay, first... Okay, let me rewind a little bit. How cute was RM, like, guiding Suga throughout the whole entire time, though, on that bridge?
Yes! But the operator even told Suga, he was like, close your eyes. Close your eyes. I was like, why does he have to close his eyes?
I know.
There are literal giant gaps in the bridge. I was like, this seems like a bad idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like a good trust exercise. And RM kept looking, kept checking, kept making sure, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have to have someone you lean on, RM's the best. So.
Yes. Okay, why were there gaps in that bridge? Oh my
I was like, this seems like a terrible mistake. Like, half of it is full and half of it is shitty.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure whoever for this type of like excursion, you know, you sign your life away and you can't sue the company. But really, why would you put holes like that, like gaps right there? It's
why tempt fate? That's the only question.
Exactly.
Right? And I loved how as they kept walking up, like RM was starting to get really nervous, and Suga was like, "I don't feel it yet. I'm cool. Yeah. I'm cool. I don't feel it yet." And then once they got up there, he was like, "Ah!"
Okay, but I loved it though that all of a sudden Suga's like confidence boosted up when they started singing "Permission to Dance" or dancing to "Permission to Dance." And he's like, I bet you thought I was gonna be scared of doing this, huh? You know, but he was full of confidence. Just man, when it comes to their song, full of confidence, you know, no matter how high it was up there, you know, 1,800 feet high, whatever.
And I love how he like kind of scolded the guide they had when they did the jumping jacks, and like they got it right. They didn't say 10 at the end. And he was like, "Oh, you thought we were gonna mess that up? We don't mess stuff like that up." You know what I mean? Like basically everyone's always saying Suga's not a dancer, but that was him basically being like, "I know my counts, okay?
Oh man.
I got this. I got this."
Do you lift, bro? Like this is our warm up, you know?
And I also loved how Suga kept saying it looked like Sim City. He was like, I can't be scared because it's like too unreal.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Even
did
look,
look
and the views they were showing.
it was beautiful, you know?
I mean, I kind of wanted to go. I was also scared of the bridge though, but I just because it's not complete. Finish the bridge.
I know.
But it did look cool once they were up there. I was like, ooh, nice.
I was like, this is definitely a spot we should go, Beth. But then like in my head, but then when I watched that, I'm like, okay, I have really crazy like fear of heights too, you know, but
You
I would
do?
still I do. Like it makes my stomach like go nuts, you know, like my complex like that I'm at right now, like if I go to the parking lot and then I look down because it's really high up, I'm like I'm like I don't know, why did I just look down, you know? But you know, coming from someone who also did zip lining in Hawaii, you know, and having a blast, so I don't know, I guess it really depends, but I do have a fear of heights. But I mean, it looked like fun, but at the same time I don't know about those gaps in that.
Yeah. That to me seems like the scariest part. Like, how can you even get started? There's a gap right there.
Yeah.
But once you got to the middle, it seemed nice. And yeah, I thought it was actually kind of cool how they both like really ended up enjoying it. And even RM said, he was like, "Oh, I've been meaning to come here." He's like, "Well, this is a good punishment for you then. You're getting to do something fun to do anyway." Like,
yeah. So I loved it though. Like they at the end, like they totally, I mean, like they're already close like brothers anyways, you know, like they consider each other like family and stuff like that. But it's so sweet like to see like those two like bond. And you know, it's funny because they wound up saying that these are punishments. They wound up bringing them closer together, you know. And I think
that's a good point. I feel like they usually do. Like, one time V and RM had to like hike up a mountain before sunset or before sunrise, and it was like, was it really that bad? Not really. Then they like enjoyed breakfast together at the top of the mountain while the sun rose, and they were like, "I love you, bro."
Yeah. and they were so grateful for each other, and Jin made their food, and so they were so grateful for that. And so yeah, at the end they were like, oh, you know, this is not so bad after all, you know, like
and to your point, I feel like a lot of the punishments are that way. Like they end up, as long as they have to take someone along. So good idea, JK, that you have to take someone. It's really not as much fun by yourself.
Exactly.
I mean, except when they have to wear something funny at the airport. Those are the ones they hate. But all the rest of them, they actually seem to enjoy. Like, yeah, are they punishments or are they just like another way to experience being together? Like, I love them so much. They're so cute.
I know, they're so adorable. I love it. Yeah, I love it. Like you said, like they show it right away. And that's something like so awesome that they did. And I'm glad that they did it right away because they have no time like right now. Because Permission to Dance, you know, came out, and now we have My Universe, and so they're like constantly busy now. And now they're gonna go to LA for a stadium concert, mini residency. So
plus they have the online concert before that.
Yeah.
So you know, it's gonna be crazy.
So they planned it really well because like they're probably thinking like, when are we gonna be able to do this punishment? Because remember, all of the punishments are wiped out, and this is the one punishment whoever had to do, and it happened to be Suga and RM. So
That's true. They're starting fresh. So I'm very excited to see where that goes.
I know.
I
Right?
love when they have to pick the punishment for each other too. They quickly were like, let's do this. This is scary. Like
Yeah,
they
let's do
know
the
each other
bridge.
so well. They know what's going to creep them out and they don't hold back. And it's so funny.
Yeah, I'm like, why would you do that? Like, there's so many people like Jimin and J Hope and
And
Suga that
Biggie,
have like fear of heights.
yeah.
It's
So of course
funny.
they picked that one.
it, it's funny, like if you watch the they just released it on Bangtan TV, like the Grammys behind the scenes, their performance in March of this year. They talked about going to the, what's it called, that helioport, is that how you say it? Or I don't know, where the helicopter is.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that part towards the end of the Dynamite song. And so all of them were like, oh man, such like they were talking about their fear of heights, like all of them, like Jin and Jimin, and they're like, oh, so scary, you know. And then they do this, you know. Oh, boys will be boys.
Definitely. But I really love this episode. It was really fun. Even though I knew none of the songs in either of the two episodes, I still really enjoyed it because of the way that they committed to like really giving it their all. Like when they go all in, you can't help but have a good time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they always put 200% into like these games, and that's why we love Run BTS so much, you know, because it's so genuine, you know, like they just, they're just so hilarious, you know. And even Hobie was like at the end of the episode, he's like, I think Army's gonna like this episode.
Oh, I loved how Dee was like, we should do another one, but can the songs be from early 2000s? We know more of those. Like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
let's do another one. And a lot of times they will take their suggestions and end up doing them later. So hopefully sometime in the next year, we're going to see another version of this with songs from the early 2000s.
Oh my gosh, the karaoke though. Oh my gosh, if they're, I love it when they karaoke. It's oh, so amazing. I love it.
Amazingly
Like
hilarious.
they're just so goofy, and they're like, whenever whatever their song they're karaokeing to, they're always in their element, you know, just goofing around or, you know, being silly. And oh, it's just, I love it. Except for
When
V,
they
because he
don't take
sounds
themselves too
beautiful.
seriously, that's the most fun, you know?
Yeah. All right. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. We talk about Run BTS once a week or whenever it airs. So we are LaChiMoLaLa. And we will see you guys next week.
안녕.
Annyeong. Bye.